Now on Coast TV News.
Flight fallout. Avelo is ending its deportation charter flights. What's behind that decision? Security struggle. Ellendale got funding for security cameras, but now town leaders are racing to meet a deadline.
Unusually warm weather was the case today, but will be the case tomorrow. Your forecast coming up.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
A major shift for Avelo Airlines, the company ending deportation flights. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. It's our top story tonight. Avelo Airlines shutting down its base at Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport later this month. The airline says it's ending its role in the Department of Homeland Security's deportation charter program because it just was not financially sustainable long term. Avelo launched the charter flights last year using 3 planes to transport detainees between detention centers and to countries in Central America. Avelo said in a statement today, quote, "The program provided short-term benefits, but ultimately did not deliver enough consistent and predictable revenue to overcome its operational complexity and costs." Now, this announcement from Avelo is changing things up in Dover. Delaware State Senator Ray Siegfried says Senate Bill 207, which would have taken away state incentives from companies involved in deportation flights, that bill now being put on hold. He said the bill was never about banning the flights or targeting one company. He said it was about making sure Delaware was not financially supporting practices that he opposes. But now Siegfried says there's no reason to move forward with the legislation. But lawmakers could still revisit the bill if things change in the future. New tonight, Ellendale town leaders trying to figure out how to move forward with a plan to put security cameras on Delmarva power poles in town. According to town leaders, the town received a $100,000 grant to move this project forward, but the installation has not been so simple. However, from previous reports, town officials were told by Delmarva Power that they could not attach the cameras to the poles. Town leaders say they now face a March deadline to use the money or lose the money.
We don't want the grant to run out. So if nothing happens, we're going to just move forward, buy the poles, put them up, and then we'll be approaching them to say, okay, you need them hooked up to your power poles now.
Ellendale town leaders tell us they have also been seeking help from state representatives and senators to put some pressure on Delmarva Power about this. The Delaware State Troopers Association putting out a post today thanking the community for an outpouring of support following the death of Corporal Matthew Ty Snook. In a statement, the association said the support over the past few weeks has been overwhelming, from vigils held across the state to fundraisers supporting Ty's wife Lauren and their daughter Letty. The association says the generosity and kindness have brought comfort to Ty's family, friends, and fellow troopers during a time of sorrow. Now we're looking live into Lewis, and we're going to check right in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams on the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Well, we are expecting another day of sunshine, but not quite as warm, remarkably warm, to be quite honest, that we experienced for today. But we're still a little bit on the warm side. And even in Milford right now, we're holding at 45 degrees. 46 is the normal high for this time of the year. And so when you have 46 at, 11 o'clock at night, it's been a pretty warm day statistically and climatologically speaking. Now, we will drop down to the 30s in Milford, down to 38 degrees under mostly clear skies. We weren't expecting to drop into, the lower 30s. This is actually a little bit unique in most locations. But look at how warm we ended up getting. 64 for the high in Georgetown and in Salisbury. And for Georgetown, that was only 4 degrees. Count that, just 4 degrees shy of tying the record high for this date. 60 was the high actually in Ocean City, 61 in Cambridge, and now we're starting to get cooler. In fact, now we're 12 degrees cooler now than we were 24 hours ago in Salisbury alone. Coming up, we'll talk about more sunshine, but not quite as warm. Christina?
All righty, appreciate it, Paul. Well, today Delaware released its 2025 Climate Action Plan. It's a guide to reduce emissions, strengthen resilience, and protect communities. The plan focuses on rising temperatures, sea levels, and extreme rainfall. Some parts of the plan include the state providing towns with technical assistance to incorporate climate change into planning efforts and to assess the need for an industrial-scale composting facility here in Delaware. January is National Blood Donor Month, and the Blood Bank of Delmarva is urging the community to step up. The blood bank says donations often drop this time of year due to illnesses, busy schedules, weather. The Blood Bank of Delmarva currently has about a 3 to 4 day supply, although they aim to keep a full week on hand. With EMS vehicles and Delaware State Police aviation units now carrying whole blood throughout the whole state, that demand is growing.
Blood is perishable, blood is precious, so it's important that we get that on a regular basis. But even if you have an isolated opportunity, give blood, you'll help someone.
There are donor centers open year-round, including one in Dagsboro, and another blood drive is coming to Ocean City later this month. New tonight, one mom in Sussex County says she's worried that drivers are putting kids in danger by going around stopped school buses. In Laurel, Jamie Edick recorded multiple cars passing the bus with its red lights on over the last 2 mornings. She shared this video with us. The incidents occurred on Route 9. Delaware State Police say the actions are unacceptable, and drivers who pass a stopped school bus can face an arrest and a court date. To Salisbury now, where a man's life has been turned upside down after his wife was detained by ICE and his family suffered an untimely death. On Saturday morning, Rigo Lopez says his wife, Arlet Maria Martinez, was on her way to work when she was detained by ICE on Mount Herman Road. 2 days later, their son, 15-year-old Kevin Martinez, a student at Parkside High School, died from cancer. Martinez is still in ICE custody and never got the chance to say goodbye to her son.
This is too much for me. It's too very, very bad news because my wife not can stay with me. And my son is no more with me either.
Maryland court records do show the only thing on Martinez's record is a traffic citation for her involvement in an accident back in 2015. Meanwhile, people in Minnesota today flooding the streets after a 37-year-old woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Wednesday's incident happening as Minnesota faces an immigration crackdown. Homeland Security has deployed more than 2,000 federal agents to Minneapolis. Sherelle Hubbard has more on the deadly incident, but we want to warn you, some viewers may find the video disturbing.
A growing crowd of mourners flood the streets of Minneapolis to honor a 37-year-old woman fatally shot by federal agents. Earlier in the day, video captures the moments leading up to the deadly encounter. A woman in her vehicle, the dark-colored SUV, blocking the road. Federal agents drive up and approach the vehicle. One agent appears to pull on the woman's door handle, and she starts to drive away. An agent shot the woman before her vehicle crashed on the side of the road.
I saw the passenger exit the vehicle. They were crying and their face was covered in blood. The agents on the scene were shouting, "No pulse, no pulse."
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the woman attacked ICE officers with her car.
This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism.
Noem went on to say one of the officers involved in the shooting was previously dragged by a car in a separate incident in June. Minnesota's governor calling the killing senseless.
Do you have no decency? We have someone dead in their car for no reason whatsoever.
A community in mourning. The mayor of Minneapolis slamming DHS.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And we are just getting started. More news coming up ahead. We have 2 development stories up next. A 65-acre makeover planned for this field near the Route 16 bypass in Milton. But first, plans to demolish cottages like this. A senior living community in Lewis wants to expand. Not everyone's on board. And right after the break, Paul Williams is in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center with your full forecast.
To be quite honest, today was really a bit of a treat, almost like getting your dessert before dinner type of a day, because we had a chance to warm with a good deal of sunshine, feeling like an almost cool spring day, and we fell just 4 degrees shy of tying the record high for this date. But now we're starting to cool back down again, because tomorrow's still going to be a little bit warmer than usual, but not just, well, it's going to be more like, a fruit dessert instead of, let's say, cream pie or something like that. But still going to be a sweet day. Still going to be a sweet day. Right now, we're dropping down to 36 degrees in Long Neck. We're at 38 degrees in Gumboro, Del Mar, Millsboro, Redden, and Seaford, as well as 38 degrees right now in Arrington. Now, just to kind of give you a feel as to how much of a dessert, quote unquote, today was, hey, we warmed up to 64 degrees, which is nearly 20 above the norm, but we fall just shy of it, like about 4 degrees shy, of tying the record high of 68 degrees, which was actually set in 1950. That being the case, hey, we're staying pretty clear for right now. We are starting to see a few scattered clouds here and there, but generally speaking, we're staying relatively clear. Low pressure systems located to our southwest, well to our southwest, and I'm not expecting it to track to the northeast over us. It's going to kind of dance around us a bit, like a badly thrown curveball that misses home plate, with Delmarva being the actual home plate there. So tomorrow's going to be dry, but a bit cooler, partly cloudy skies, and the thaw still continues because we'll be in the 50s, and 46 is the norm. Friday and Saturday, we're going to be even milder. Temperatures will jump back into the 60s, but that's when the cloud cover comes in play. More moisture and a chance of rain really plays out pretty much Saturday. Now look like it's leaning into Sunday. But for tomorrow, winds are out of the northwest, so that's going to help cool things off a little more. Remember, when it comes to winds, the direction it's coming from, that makes a difference on our comfort level. So we start off 33, 34, generally speaking, through the inland areas Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, we start seeing a little hint of the cloud cover. Now we start off Friday. By lunchtime, we have thick cloud cover and the winds are coming out of the south, and then it sets up for temperatures in the 60s, and then we start watching out for some scattered showers pushing across the region. See, Friday is when we have an extra amount of moisture, as well as a little more in the way of thermodynamic energy, because of this flow coming out of the south. It's going to combine with the frontal boundaries that are going to push through. Saturday, we're going to be really vibrant, up to like 35 mile per hour winds, and then they'll shift a little bit more on Monday. So Saturday, by 11:30, we see scattered showers across Delmarva. By 4 o'clock, still rainy. By 7 o'clock, still rainy. And then Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, this is the new model run, it's staying rainy until about 7:30. After that happens, we're done. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul. Love to see that warm weather. You're looking now at the moorings at Lewis. It's a senior living community. Spring Point, who owns the community, now wants to expand it. Sussex County Planning and Zoning actually deferred a decision on this today, saying they need some more information before taking action. But as Emma Aiken reports, we do know that adding more units means demolishing at least 6 existing homes.
Jean and Rich Woolley have lived in this cottage in the moorings at Lewis community for 10 years.
All of a sudden, there was a meeting with administration where they told us this was going to happen and that our homes were going to be destroyed.
Now, the applicant wants to expand the moorings, adding 21 single-family detached units and 46 multifamily apartment units for a total of 274 units in the complex. But in order to do that, 6 family units, including the one that the Woolleys live in here, must be destroyed. And those people must move elsewhere in the community. The Woolleys tell me this home, where they thought they'd live out their days, would, under the expansion plan, become a parking lot for the added apartments.
All of a sudden, our life changed right then. We became where we weren't functioning properly. We weren't sleeping. Everything in our life was ruled by, what are we going to do? Who do we turn to for help? Do we have to do this?
But Spring Point says the increasing senior population in the state means a critical need for more housing like this. Spring Point says the expansion will enhance services for current and future residents while helping support the local economy. And there is a petition with over 80 signatures in support, though the Woolleys question the motives of some signing. As the community looks to grow, the expansion raises the question of whether progress can come without sacrificing the people already at home.
That was Emma Aiken reporting there. Again, Sussex County Planning and Zoning deferred a vote today, but even when Planning and Zoning makes a decision, the application will still have to go to the County Council. Now, this area on your screen, right next to the Route 16 bypass in Milton, a developer group called Seagull wants to transform this area and turn it into homes, stores, even a hotel. The property was rezoned 2 years ago to allow for this kind of development. The retail section and hotel, that would be right up against Route 1, and then the 280 homes would be toward the back of the property. Take a look here at the plans. The biggest store in the plan set at 150,000 square feet. People we spoke with today mixed on if they think something this size will really fit in Milton.
I think the location is great because it's not in town. It's not coming right into Milton or into Lewis. It's a little bit easier on traffic.
What about the infrastructure? What about the added schools we're going to need? What about the roads? What about the drain on the water aquifer? The septic system, stuff like that. Who's going to pay for that?
Now, with the rezoning happening years ago, the final site plan will now have to be presented to Sussex County Planning and Zoning. It's not yet clear when that exactly will happen. This does bring us to our Coast TV poll, though. We're asking tonight where you think is a good spot for a Costco on the coast here. A Costco not part of the story we just told you about, but a different development proposed called Atlantic Fields. So 84% of people say on Route 1 and Route 16 would be best. 16% say Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road. We also have a comment. This is from Darlene in Lewis. Darlene says Mulberry Knoll Road is 2 lanes with no shoulder and totally inappropriate road for a huge delivery trucks and gas tankers. Route 1 and 16 has the road infrastructure to handle the development. Thank you, Darlene, for the comment, and you can leave your own comment or still vote. Just go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Still ahead at 11 tonight, Venezuela could send millions of barrels of oil to the U.S., but why drivers might not see cheaper gas.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
The National Rifle Association is suing its own nonprofit charity foundation. The NRA filing a federal lawsuit against the NRA Foundation on Monday. The NRA accuses the foundation of unfairly using the NRA logo. The lawsuit says the foundation misled people into donating to the charity instead of the organization itself. NRA's CEO says the lawsuit is a, quote, last resort, and the association is trying to rebuild and focus on its long-term mission. Well, Americans have been enjoying some of the lowest gas prices in years, but will the situation in oil-rich Venezuela change that? The answer is complex, and Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at the possible scenarios and what it all means for consumers.
President Trump says Venezuela will turn over 30 million to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S.
We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people.
The number may sound like a lot, but for perspective, the United States consumed just over 20 million barrels of oil per day over the past month, which underscores how the lengthy process of U.S. access to Venezuela's vast oil reserves, the largest in the world, may not change how much drivers pay at the pump too soon.
I think when the president and his advisors talks to U.S. oil companies, executives, and analysts, I think there's going to be a mismatch between how quickly the president wants the money to flow and the oil production to grow and how quickly it will really happen.
Restoring Venezuela's oil production infrastructure will require billions of dollars of investment, and with the political climate still uncertain, it may be a risky sell to the private sector. And forecasters already say 2026 will be the cheapest year for gas since COVID. OPEC production is up and global demand down. After the weekend's events, fuel savings platform Gas Buddy stood by a prediction gas prices will average just below $3 a gallon nationally this year. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Coming up later in sports, some surprising football news out of Berlin. We'll tell you about now former Decatur football coach Jake Coleman and why he's stepping down. And coming up, new CDC numbers show measles cases at a 25-year high. Who's getting sick and who's at risk?
Well, as you take a look at your Bay forecast, 54 for the high on Thursday, 62 Friday, and then watching out for rain in Cambridge and in Crisfield, with temperatures staying in the mid to low 50s.
We salute Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, a devoted 10-year veteran of the Delaware State Police who served with professionalism, steadiness, and heart. Assigned to Troop 6 at Price's Corner and known as a dependable C-shift trooper, he was a trusted partner and respected colleague who proudly served Delaware every day. We honor his sacrifice and hold his legacy of service in enduring gratitude.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
New tonight, HHS is unveiling a new food pyramid, and it seems to be inverted. The widest part on top of the pyramid lists fruits, vegetables, protein, dairy, and healthy fats. Some experts are arguing people should actually eat less red meat and dairy than the pyramid implies, but others are praising the new guide. Associated guidance ups the daily protein recommendation for many people. That's based on body weight, and at the bottom of the pyramid are whole grains. HHS suggests consuming less alcohol, sugar, and ultra-processed foods. Well, multiple large outbreaks in 2025 have put the United States measles elimination status in danger. And today we get the first and final look at the total number of confirmed measles cases reported in the country this past year. Tonight, Mandy Gaither has the latest data and explains why experts say everyone who is unvaccinated is at risk.
It's one of the most contagious diseases, but a vaccine is highly effective protection against measles. However, vaccination rates have been falling for years. For the 2024-25 school year, CDC data shows 92.5% of incoming kindergartners had received the vaccine. That's below the 95% threshold that public health experts say is necessary to prevent outbreaks.
There is a threat that the United States could lose its measles elimination status again after 25 years.
Dr. William Moss with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says the number of measles cases last year in the U.S. is the highest it's been since the year 2000. CDC data released today shows for the full year of 2025, there was a total of 2,144 confirmed measles cases reported in the U.S. and 49 outbreaks. But the CDC says only confirmed cases are included, not ones deemed probable by states. So far in 2026, there are 3 confirmed measles cases linked to outbreaks that started last year.
Not surprisingly, 92% of the cases have been in those who are unvaccinated or without a known vaccination status.
Moss says what's surprising is the ages of those who have gotten measles. The CDC says about 25% of cases have been in children younger than 5 years old, but about 1/3 have been in adults older than 20 years of age. If the outbreaks continue, Moss says the U.S.'s measles elimination status is under threat. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, everyone. We had some crazy news in high school football today. Stephen Decatur is now looking for a new head football coach. This comes as a shocker after the Seahawks have proven themselves to be one of the premier powerhouse programs on the Eastern Shore after winning back-to-back titles in 2023 and 24. The Stephen Decatur Seahawks football Facebook page dropped a statement from Coleman earlier saying, in part, after much contemplation and prayer, I have made the decision to step down as head coach of Decatur football. However, I want to assure you all that I will continue to support and assist the program, the school, and the kids. Decatur football in the past few years has produced a ton of Division I talent, most notably Coleman's son Bryson, who is a tight end at Vanderbilt, who he says he wants to see play more down south. Stephen Chandler, who also went down to Nashville to continue playing at Vanderbilt at the next level. Luke Mergott, the Duke linebacker, who caught the game-sealing interception in the ACC championship game a few weeks back. And quarterback Johnny Hobgood, who will play his college ball at Sacred Heart University. Coleman says wherever he goes next, he won't be far.
I'm not going anywhere. You know, I know there's going to be 50 million rumors. Now, if the Ravens call me, I might answer that call. But, yeah, I'm not planning on going anywhere right now. I just want to go watch my son play, and I'm going to step back Whoever the coaches decide to hire, I'm going to support them and assist them. I'm going to run the lifting, and I'll go to practices, and heck, I'll probably go to games. If the coach wants my help, then I'll help him too. But I'm not going to be at every game.
So some big news shaking up the Eastern Shore. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Now here's the live look into Dover. We have one more check on your forecast right after the break. If you didn't know, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Not Christmas, but Girl Scout cookie season. Yes, it's time to put your orders in. You get Thin Mints, Tagalongs, of course, Samoas. Those are my favorite. The 2026 season arrives with a new flavor called Explore More's. The sandwich cookies are inspired by Rocky Road ice cream. Paul, what's your favorite kind of cookie?
You got them shortbread cookies.
Okay.
I love the Girl Scout cookies. They're the best fundraiser on the planet Earth. Okay, anyway, 35 degrees for us actually in Salisbury. Let's just go ahead and go to the umbrella winner. Okay, so Doreen, you're the umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis, property restoration experts in Lewis. So be sure you come by and pick up your umbrella. You can pick up, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. I'm still thinking about these cookies.
Oh, Paul, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to distract you. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can always find more news and weather. Just download that Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show is up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a good night.